श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। राम रामेति रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यम राम नाम वरानने।
Namaskar, Sadhak Mandali. I am Pranav Bansode, also known as PK, and we have Maruti Revankar, also known as Galas. As we are nearing inauguration function of the Ayodhya Mandir, the Ram Mandir, the Ram Janma Bhumi, Tirtha Kshetra at Ayodhya, and Prana Pratishtha of Ramalala at that place. We would like to come with the stories leading to Rama Janma or incarnation of Prabhu Shri Ramachandra in this world. To begin with, let's discuss today the story of Sage Valmiki.
One day when Lord, the Rishi of the Lords, Sattarubi, we call him, the Satvik Rishi, Muni Narad, was walking through the forest. A lot of people asked him to stop and not go forward. He asked, why? What's the problem? He said, they said there is a dacoit, Valya Koli, or a daku. In some stories, he's also referred to as Ratnakar Daku. So there is a dacoit and he is going to loot you. And he doesn't just loot people, he also kills them. He said, that is okay. Even if he wants to loot me, there is nothing for me, nothing with me that he can loot. And he can kill the body, but not the Atma, because Atma is always imperishable. So he moves ahead, he walks, and that is when he encounters the dangerous dacoit of that forest, Valyakoli. So Valyakoli holds his bow and arrow at pointing at Narada and says, "Stop there, and whatever you have, give it to me." He said, I have nothing. The only wealth that I have is this, uh, those, in Marathi it is called chipalya, or, those uh, tal instruments that we use, and the Brahma Veena that he was having. We have seen the Narad Muni in most of the TV serials. He's always found saying Narayana, Narayana. So he has that tal in his hand and the Brahma Veda. So he says, this is all that I have. I said, no, I need money or else I'll kill you. Then Narada says to him, uh, till today you have killed a lot of people. And indeed, Palyakodi had killed a lot of people. There is explanation about how many people he had killed. Every time he used to kill a person, whatever wealth he had accumulated, if he has taken a ring or a necklace or something, he would take one stone, one precious stone out of it and put it in a pot. And there was a huge pot in his house. And there is, it is told in the Puranas that such huge 7 pots had filled till the neck. So he had killed so many people and accumulated so much of wealth. So Narada says you have accumulated, it's a sin and you have accumulated so much of sin. It is said that if you kill one person, there is you spend 1,000 years in the Naraka, in the hell, and you have killed so many that 7 pots are filled. What will you do? How will you redeem all your sins? How will you be absolved of all your sins? He says, I am doing it for my family. My sins will all get divided among all the family members, and only a very little out of it will remain for me. Oh, Narada says, oh, you really think that? You think all your sins will get divided among your family? You think they'll accept the division and take your sins away? I said, of course, because I'm doing everything for them only. Why will they not? He said, okay, then go and ask and come how much share of your sins they're ready to take. So, but I'll go, but if you leave away, what will happen? I said, no problem, you can tie me to the tree in the forest and I'll not go anywhere. He says, okay, but let's bet. If I lose the bet, If they do not agree to take away my sins, then I will become your disciple. If you lose the bet, if they agree to take away my sins, divide my sins, take share in my sins, then you have to give your tal and your Brahmavina to me. Narada says, I'll not just give my tal and Brahmavina, I'll become your servant for the rest of your life. And therefore, he says that he ties Narada to a nearby tree and he goes to his house. He calls all the entire family members. His family had kids, son and a daughter, his wife, and his father and mother. He says, to protect you and to provide for you, I have committed so much of sin until now. How much of the share are you ready to take? Because the sins are going to result me going to the hell. How much how much if each of you are ready to take the share? Tell me, and we will. I have to decide what I have to do for the remaining of my life. His parents say, when we were young, we had earned and taken care of you. Now we are old. Now it's a duty of every son to take care. You have done your duty. You haven't done any favor on us. So there is no point that we will take the share of your sins. Then he moves to wife. What is your saying? Uh, what do you have to say? She says, since you married me and brought me here, it was the older times when the husband had to provide for the wife, and the wife was considered to be of a single husband. So it is your duty to provide for me. You married me and brought me from my father's place. You have done your duty. You haven't done any favor on me. So I don't have to take your sins. Your sins are yours. You just have you've done your duty and you have to provide for me. And then he moves to the kids and tells what do you want to say? What do you have to say about this now? Says until we grow old, we attain our youth and we become eligible to work and earn our bread and butter. It is the duty of the parents, the duty of the father to provide for us. You haven't done any favor on us, so we will not take share of your sins. You are solely responsible for your sin. We will not take any share out of it. You have just done your duty and haven't taken any favor. And then Valyakoli returns. While going, he was walking with his uh, neck pointed upwards, his head held high, and that I'll win the bet. What do you think, my family? I have done so many sins for my family. They'll definitely take my share, a share of my sins. But he was proven wrong. And of course, the good company, Narad Muni is not a simple Muni, right? He is the guru of Valmiki, Prahlad, Vyasa, everybody. A lot of great people are his pupils. He is the sage of the gods, so Muni of the gods. So his company had started the chain reaction of transformation of Valyakoli, and the answers that he got from his family just added as a catalyst. And by the time he came back, his transformation had already taken place. He threw his weapons, held the lotus feet of Narada, and he said, "Yeah, I have committed a lot of sins. You are the only one who can absolve me out of it. Tell me, how do I redeem from these sins?" And uh, Narada gives him the mantra of Lord Rama, Rama mantra Upadesh. Narad gives to Valmiki, and his nature had become so tamasic that he wasn't able to chant the name of Ram. So the name of Rama that was given to him was Mara. So he kept saying Mara, 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 Maram, and it became Ram. Mara Mara se bhi paya Ram, Ram, Ram. सत्तरूपी ने बताया वाल्मीकि जी को माया मरा मरा से भी पाया राम राम राम. Tulsidas' famous song itself. And Tulsidas gives him that, and uh, Valmiki Rishi sits for the penance, tells him how to sit for the penance, how to chant and everything. He tells him, and until I come back, you have to chant the name of the god. And he continuously chants and chants and chants, and he finally becomes Rama Rupa itself. And after many, many years, Narada returns to the place where Valmiki is sitting and doing his penance, is meditating on Lord Rama, and he's now covered with all the mud, and it's become like an anthill in the forest. Narada takes that all away, and he sees by by that after so many years his entire skin is gone and only the skeleton is remaining. And of course, in Treta Yuga, it was Astimaya Prana. So even though just Asti was there, he was still alive. Narada looks at him with the Karuna Bhava, a lot with empathy, he sees, and he places his uh, hand on Valmiki. He he gives him the Kripa Shirvadha, and Valmiki attains enlightenment, and his entire he gains his body back, but this time it is a Divya Sharira, it's a divine body that he gains, and he from Valya Koli dacoit or Ratnakar Daku, he becomes Valmiki. That's the name given by Narad Muni, and now he's living the life of a sage in the forest. So every day he's going to the river for anusthana, he's doing sandhya vandana, all the yajnas and everything. And one day when he was going, he sees there are two birds were sitting on the tree, and they're playing. One of them is a male and another is a female. He's attracted towards their play, and he's just watching. And at the same time, a hunter comes and he kills the male bird, and the male bird falls down from the tree branch, and the female bird starts crying. uh, at one point of time, the person who was a dacoit, whose heart was who was stone-hearted, who did not even hesitate to kill human beings, is today crying because a bird has fallen dead. And he says to the hunter, "How cruel are you to kill that male bird and give enormous sorrow and grief to this female bird. This is not right. You have committed a huge sin and you have to suffer for it." He says that, and he leaves. And for many, many days, that sorrow still stays in his heart, and he just doesn't know how to get rid of it. So one day, Narad Muni again comes back to his ashram, and he say, at this point of time, Valmiki says, "My sorrow is just growing and growing. I just cannot forget that picture of the bird dying keeps coming in front of my eyes. What do I do?" Narad Muni says, "You have to, now it is the time that you start writing the Rama Katha." So, and on entire planet, when there is no signal, when there is no Bhavishyavani or any kind of written clues, nothing is there. At that point of time, Valmiki writes the entire Ramayana from birth to his coronation, almost the entire thing. He writes it, and because the story is about Rama, he names it as Ramayana. And by the time he finishes Ramayana, the picture of the death of the bird has gone away, and now he attains that complete peace and stability of mind. His state of equanimity is reached. And even today, we read the same Valmiki Ramayana. Of course, at this point of time, we have to mention another popular version of Ramayana that is available to us in Hindi, written by Sant Tulsidas in the form of Ramacharitra Manas, which is also read in all the houses. At the point of time when Sanskrit was inaccessible to all the people in India, only the Brahmins had access to it, and other people used to speak Prakrit or Hindi. Tulsidas brought Ramayana to every house in the form of Ramacharitra, and that is what we read today. Let us all at least offer our humble prayers to both Sage Valmiki and Sant Tulsidas, and end our story here. We'll come up with the next story leading to the birth of drama in the next episode. Stay tuned with the channel. Like, share, and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Leave your comments in the comment section if you're watching on Facebook also. Keep following us and we will come up with the next one in the series. Until then, Jai Shri Ram. Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj Ki Jai.